How can anybody create the most amazing and complex chord progressions without even knowing music theory? It just sounds too good to be true, right? And what if I told you that I created this initial chord progression by just clicking around? What we're talking about today is the Mindful Harmony app, and it's an incredibly useful tool for creating any kind of chord progression you like. And the cool thing is that you don't even have to know music theory to get started. But those who do know some or a lot of music theory can take this to the extremes and go absolutely crazy with this. As always, I do want to be transparent and let you know that Mindful Harmony app is sponsoring this video. Which means that I got to play around and use the app for free as long as I wanted. But I like it so much that I would happily have made this video even without being sponsored. Okay, now we've opened the app and I'm going to put it to the light because this is what it will look like for most of you. Straight off the bat you see this little bit intimidating circle of fifths. This is interesting for people who want to know more about it. For example, it shows in what kind of tonality or what kind of key chord could fit. So could it be part of C Dorian or of something else, and then it will light up and it will show you from what key the chord is taken from. Let's add a chord by clicking on the plus button. Here, straight off the bat, you can choose between all the different modes, harmonic minor, melodic minor, but I'm just going to go for a regular major chord progression because I want to create a simple 1-4-5 chord progression, which in the key of C major is C, F, G. And all these chords that you see are diatonic chords, so they're part of the C major scale, part of C major harmonies. And the cool thing is we can also change instruments. For example, we can also choose strings, or we can choose guitar, or Rhodes. So let's create the 1-4-5 chord progression. So there we are. Let's see what the tempo is. Crank up the tempo so that it plays back a little bit faster. You can also change the time signature. And now the duration of each chord is set to half a note, but it can also be a dotted half note or a whole note or a quarter note. This also gives you the option to play around with different timings and whatnot. Let's say that this G major chord that we don't like that much. So I'm going to click edit and I want to replace it with something else. Let's see. So let's see what that would sound like. Okay, we could do that. Now, I want to add some chords at the end. So let's click on the plus. I'm still going to choose something from C major. I want to add an F chord. But now I want to add an altered chord, so something that's not diatonically part of C major. I want to add an F minor chord, which will create this major minor chord trick that you've seen in a couple of my videos. Let's see, let's put on the loop option so that it keeps playing. Sounds good to my ears. I like it. This is one technique that you can use for creating chord progressions with this Mindful Harmony app, is just create a regular chord progression and see what kind of chords you want to change, as I did here with the G sus4 and the F minor chord. I often write chord progressions using my guitar, but just like other musicians, I often get stuck using the same chord patterns and chord shapes that feel comfortable to my fingers. The Mindful Harmony app can help break these habits and help you create interesting and beautiful chord progressions that you would have otherwise not come up with. When I play my first example on guitar, I get chord shapes and a chord sequence that if I would have followed my normal habit, I would not have come up with. Another technique that I would like to point out, or something that I like to do, is just, I call it the click around technique, which basically says it all. I click around and see what it sounds like. Now I'm going to stay into C major. So we have a C major chord. Again, do this major minor chord trick. So I'm going to add an altered chord, and in this case the C minor chord. And I hear this like kind of chromatic line going down, which is the major third, minor third. And now we can add a sus2. And now let's go to the sus4. So let's see what we have now. Okay, great. Now I want to add a little bit more tension here. So let's see if we can go out of C major and let's choose something from the Lydian mode and C Lydian. We have the C sus2 already, but this is a nice chord. This is what it sounds like. Now let's go back to C major and see if we can add a normal chord. I'm not convinced. Okay, this could work. Add this. And what I'm going to do now, we have this option. Let's edit it. We have this option to create auto voicing. So that means that the voices will be as smooth as possible and create a connection between the previous chords. So let's turn that one on. Okay. And let's see what it would sound like if we would create a minor chord, again with alto voice leading. Let's go for something like this. Now, let's say that I like this chord progression, and now we can also download this progression as a MIDI file, which means that we can import it into our DAW, whatever DAW you have, or you can also import it in your music notation software. For example, I use MuseScore. There's a free trial of 5 days, and if you want to buy the lifetime option, there's a discount code in the description and in the comments section, together with my affiliate link. So when you make a purchase, you also support me, because a small percentage will go to the channel. But in any case, use that discount code. Okay, now I created a clean slate. And let's start from scratch. This time I'm going to choose a minor chord progression, and it's going to be in A minor. We're going to start with an A minor chord. Then I'm going to add a C major. Then I'm going to add D and a G. You know what? Let's change this G chord into something else. Here you have all these other options: borrowed chord, minor compound. Oh man, there's so many options. Chromatic mediant. It's insane how many possibilities there are, but let's stick to an easy one. I'm going to go for this tonicization tab, which has all these kinds of other interesting things that you can choose from. Let's go for a G minor chord instead of a D minor. It's interesting, so it's outside of the key of A minor. Let's listen what the progression sounds like now. Okay, let's say that I want to have a little bit extra color in this chord progression. What we can do is add 6th and 7th chords, or even all the extensions that you like. So let's change this C major chord and let's add something spicy. We can add a C major 7, for example, or a C6, or a C sus2. Let's do this one. C6 sus2. Let's see, what can we do with this D minor chord? I'm going to again open up the options of 6th and 7th, but maybe also we add the 9 now. And this sounds nice. Let's add this one. And now the last one. Okay, let's go full speed with this one. Let's add all the extensions. G minor 13. Oh, that sounds nice. Now let's see what it sounds like. And I don't know if you're noticing this, but see, this circle of fifths is responding to the chord, so you can see where what is from. There's also this incredible option of creating this auto voice leading for your entire chord progression. So that means that the chords will go as smooth as possible from one to the next one. So let's do that auto voice leading option. And let's see what it sounds like now. Great. Sounds very nice. The only thing what I'm missing now here is a 7th chord here on the first one. So let's change that. Now we got it. Okay. Okay. So I think for rap producers and all kinds of other producers, this is amazing because you can just create a loop like this instantly. Now let's say that I want to create a modal chord progression, and I think anybody who has watched this channel knows that I like to make content about modal chord progressions, modal melodies. I even made a modal playbook course that can take you from a beginner to an absolute intermediate, or maybe even a higher level if you do the course from start to finish. So it's an incredible resource. It's linked in the description if you want to check it out. Now let's say that we want to create a Phrygian chord progression. Okay. And let's say that's going to be E Phrygian. Now, of course, we're going to start with an E minor chord. Then we're going to play an F, which is the 2nd scale degree, is very important in Phrygian. Now we play the G major, and let's play the 7th scale degree D minor. This gives us the following progression. Okay, well, everything sounds good. I want to add some 7th chords, why not? Because we can. So let's adjust this one. And I want to add a major 7th chord. This is just always good. This would be G7, I think that's a bit too harsh. And let's create this one also into a G6, I think that's nice. And let's create this into a 7th chord. There we go. By the way, everything what I'm doing now is just diatonic. It's perfectly part of, in this case, E Phrygian. So nothing is outside of the mode. One thing that I do want to try out now is create a different inversion. So I'm going to change the bass note. As you can see here, we can change all the voicings and drop 2, drop 3. I just want to change the inversions, and I want to change it to the first inversion. So the major third is in the bass, and I want to do the same with this chord. So I'm going to change the bass note to the first inversion, and you see it changes. And this one I want to put it into the second inversion. Okay, and you know what? Let's also make this into a seventh chord. So now we're all in the seventh colors. Let's see what it sounds like now. Okay, oh, that sounds nice. Creating this app must have been an immense undertaking, but the results don't lie. The Mindful Harmony app gives everybody access to so many creative possibilities. Will you use it every day and every time that you write music? I don't know, that's up to you. But in any case, it's an incredibly useful tool to have in your toolbox. For those who are interested, there's a discount code and an affiliate link in the description and in the comments section. And when you make a purchase, you also support me, because a small percentage goes back to the channel. Stay inspired, stay creative, and for now, see you next time.